And a shocking drug bust in Hyderabad. Police have uncovered a major MDMA racket that was being run not through the usual shady corners of the city, but through a gay dating app. Two peddlers, they were earlier arrested under the NDPS Act, but they returned to trade after getting bail. They have now been caught again. Along with them, 7 consumers, including a general surgeon, an IT recruiter, and even a sex worker, have been detained. Code names like Rocket, like Pigeon, they were being used to secretly peddle ecstasy online. With drugs worth nearly 15 lakh rupees seized and one detainee testing HIV positive, the bust has triggered both a crime as well as a public health alarm. The big question that we are asking here on the show today is, have the dating apps become drug hubs, or are they becoming drug hubs? In fact, let me go across to my guests at this point of time. I have Sunitha Krishnan, social activist from Hyderabad, and Ivan Mehta, global technology expert, TechCrunch. Let me start by asking you, Sunitha Krishnan, when we talk about this particular case and a lot of such cases, it highlights not just a crime but also public health concerns. Like I mentioned, one person has tested HIV positive. How worrying is this overlap of drugs, unsafe practices, health risks? Just break it down for us.
Osama, thank you so much for taking this up on NDTV, because most people don't want to talk about this. There's so much of stigma and so much of silence around drug peddling and drug trafficking, because it's not just about the poor. You have, in the last few months, if you see the number of drug rackets that has been busted in Hyderabad, you will also notice a premier university where young people, more than 50 of them were suspects. So it is definitely a very alarming situation. Not only Hyderabad, I would say all metropolitan city. But also the fact that today the digital medium, or the new scene of crime, is the digital medium, whether it is dating app, whether it's social media apps, or it is instant messaging. Technology is the new scene of crime, which all criminals have used extensively and using it more and more. And a very troubling and very worrying factor is at the pace at which they are using these platforms. The enforcement mechanism is not able to kind of match their pace in terms of handling the thing. Now, coming to, public safety, I would not like to comment on that, because that can happen anywhere. But the fact that a dating app is used with code words and emojis and all kinds of encrypted, messaging to deal with a crime is one concern. But also another very, very big concern for me is that these are all repeat offenders.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any kind of deterrence. See, criminals are using the newer ways. Social media or the digital platform is the most accessible platform now to find the most vulnerable, whether it's young people, the consumers, you get it. So if you see some of the drug rackets that has been busted from, say, April of this year, you will see a profile of 14 to 21 years old also, who are the consumers and buyers, not just the doctors and, the professionals and others. So there is a whole vulnerable population around this whole space, and they use dating apps, they use social media, and in these same spaces, these peddlers and traffickers, drug traffickers, are all entering the space and using those vulnerability to commit a crime. But the sad part is none of them are getting convicted. None of them are getting fixed for the crime that they have committed. So there's no deterrence, and therefore this platform is going to be used more and more. Not just the dating app. Osama, I would give you examples also from the matrimonial sites. I will give you examples also from classified and also Facebook and Insta, where such peddling has happened.
We'll try. We'll try and make a sense of that. Before I go to Mr. Ivan Mehta to make a sense of how technology is actually, being used in this particular manner, let me go across to my colleague Ashish. who's reporting from Hyderabad. Ashish, take us through how this racket was busted. Give us the details.
So, first of all, we need to understand how these guys get caught. Basically, police were tracking one drug peddler. He is based out of Bangalore, a Nigerian national. First, he was tracked, and through him, these two peddlers here in Hyderabad, they were identified. Later on, Commissioner Task Force is a specialized wing working directly under Commissioner of Police Hyderabad. They nabbed these two peddlers from a North Zone area of Hyderabad. And later on, while investigating these two peddlers, police found that there are several of the consumer and they are using dating app, a gay dating app, to lure their customer as well as to supply drugs and to inform them about drugs. So that's a worrying trend which Hyderabad police has now realized, and they are, while they are counseling all these consumer because they are drug abuse persons, and they are treated as a person who are kind of addicted to drug. They are victim of drug abuse, so they are being counseled. On the very other hand, these two persons, the accused, the peddler, who been previously arrested, they served jail term, and later on they again came out, and then again they started procuring as well as selling drugs. So now police is trying to identify more and more drug peddlers, how they were procuring drugs. They were bringing drugs from Bangalore after purchasing there, and they were selling it here in Hyderabad. So how they were bringing that drug, that is being investigated. These two persons, apart from these two arrested persons, whether there is a larger conspiracy or larger network of drug supplier and drug consumer, that is being investigated. So clearly it's a very shocking kind of development. Remember, Telangana police special drug wing, Eagle, which is formed after new government came into the power, they are continuously monitoring social media, they are continuously monitoring chats, and in fact financial transaction of drug peddlers or habitual offenders. So if a habitual offender is getting caught, or drug seller peddler is getting caught, their mobile will be searched, their transactions will be, whether it's a online UPI transaction or any other kind of transaction, that is being monitored. And that also led to the Eagle, the drug enforcement agency here in Hyderabad, leading them to several premier colleges and universities. Remember, one prominent medical college university students were nabbed, and they're being counseled earlier this month, last month itself. One prominent private university student, and there also it was found that several of the students were consuming drugs, they were procuring drugs, they were making transaction through UPI. So clearly this is a big racket, and now enforcement wing of Telangana police, that is investigating. Apart from that, Hyderabad city police is also investigating the entire network, how they procure drug, how they are supplying drug, who are the consumer, because getting information about consumer, whether they are addict and how to counsel them, is also a challenge. So police is also inquiring about them, and if it's a habitual offender or habitual consumer, then definitely, as per law, police is willing to take all kind of action against the consumer as well as the peddlers.
Right, Ashish there. Thank you very much for getting us all those details. Ivan Mehta, this is something that Sunita Krishnan was also mentioning. There are a host of people, and people from different, not just one particular app that something like this is happening. We're talking about Grindr here, a gay dating app. There are other dating apps, but what I want to understand from you is, all of it is built for privacy, right? But is that privacy also being misused to create such, digital drug bazaars here?
One point I'd like to make, and Sunita rightly said that this could be any platform, not just dating apps. Not all platforms are necessarily built for privacy. If you're chatting on, say, WhatsApp or Signal, the messages are end-to-end encrypted. But some of the platforms, such as Telegram and some of the other social platforms, the messages are not encrypted. Some of the platforms do keep a watch on what messages are being exchanged, not particularly for, I would say, not particularly for monitoring, but to see if someone is breaking any rules. Those algorithms need to be more robust because, like you mentioned initially in the report, that a lot of them use code names just to exchange information about drugs or about other substances. We have seen numerous cases with both Bumble and Bumble, Grinder, other platforms, that there are scams on these platforms which lure users not just for drugs but extortion money. So we've seen users' safety being harmed in other ways as well. So I think it could be any platform which could be used for exchanging information, which could be drugs. And you also mentioned that these are repeat offenders. So one thing that platforms would need to do is prevent them from creating accounts and look at some signals. I understand that they might not be doing it from same ID and same information, but look at
as a technology expert yourself, what role can technology companies realistically play in flagging or filtering out illegal activities such as drug peddling?
Yeah, realistically, I mean, one, if a suspicious user comes across us, they have to kind of report it. If we see that there is a pattern repeating in terms of certain messages being exchanged and that pattern is being followed, they have to create detection algorithms as to file it under suspicion and possibly pass it on to authorities to investigate, not particularly the people, but also the conversation to understand that, hey, are these conversations potentially about drug peddling or something else? We've seen with Instagram as well that there is CSAM, child sexual exploitation material. Their offenders also use kind of code language. So it's not a platform-specific problem. It's as wide as any platform where you can connect with other users. It's just that it needs active monitoring and, I would say, pattern recognition and working with authorities to understand how this takes place on that particular network.
All right.